When in doubt, headbutt it out.
Welcome back to another episode of Love of Pages. I can get the right podcast. What are we doing today? We are doing the third installment of Hope Never Dies. Bum, bum, bum.
The book by the author. What's the author's name? Shaffer?
Andrew Shaffer.
Andrew Shaffer.
Andrew Shaffer.
Yes, the first in a series. Because there are more Biden, Obama, detective.
I've seen one other one suggested. I don't know if it was just the two.
He is also. I think there's a third one that's supposed to be coming out.
Oh,
interesting. Because I did see that the author also did one that stars the other president, unelect.
Oh my.
So we are recording this on the heels of inauguration. We successfully made it. There was a transfer of power. Joseph R. Biden is our 46th president of the United States. He signed 17 executive orders on his first day in office.
Mm-hmm.
And he failed to live tweet Fox and Friends.
He did. He did also remove the Diet Coke button. There was a red button on the desk.
What?
That just when you pushed the button, a butler man would walk in carrying a Diet Coke. So like this is just a cool factoid for a president that will come up however long from now. But yeah, that happened. Someone went into the office and they were conducting an interview with him and everything. They're like, we were so curious about what the button did. It was this red button. It's like a brown box, like a wooden box with this tiny little red button in it. And then, like, sure enough, at some point in the interview, he pushed the button and a man speedily came in and delivered a Diet Coke.
Oh my God.
Speaking of demands for drinks, in honor of the new 46th president and in the third segment of this book, we are consuming ice cream. In the form of a milkshake. It's a Haagen-Dazs chocolate milkshake. Jessica, what are you drinking?
Mine is a almond milk based ice cream, dark chocolate truffle.
Fancy.
With some almond milk Ready Whip on top, and because it's drink night, and probably an ounce of Kahlua.
Fair.
I mean,
I have takoyaki ice cream. So it's a little fish-shaped waffle cone, and then inside there's vanilla ice cream with chocolate syrup.
I like it.
Takoyaki. That is cute.
Grab your ice cream and join us for the end of this detective adventure. So I'm trying to remember who... Did anybody guess it right? Did any of us have...
I did.
You did?
I was between Esposito. Is it Esposito? Whatever.
Yeah.
I was between the female cop or the other cop.
Mm.
And I feel like it's probably because if it's a drug thing, it's probably also a dirty cop. Like, it's just...
Like you do.
Yeah.
So
I did not have this right by any stretch. I was still thinking the other guy was suspicious. He was suspicious, but that was only to himself.
yes, that was completely... Well, I mean, yes, but no. In any case, let's get into the plot so that our listeners can stop guessing at what the hell we're trying to say. And I just made this an unclean episode. Stephen, bleep that out.
Hey, you can't say hell?
Yeah, that's okay words. That's
Hell is
okay.
fine.
Listen, we're taking the Joe Biden ice cream thing too far by bleeping out hell.
So when we last left, so last week, we ended with the "Yes, we can" speech,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
where they
Yes,
were
we
going
did.
to give up on this hunt.
Mhm.
But they decided to keep going. And the way forward was to go to an outlaw biker gang's clubhouse without any backup.
Is there any other way to go to one of those places?
Because these are two of the most brilliant men our country can produce. And it's disconcerting.
It wasn't a good plan. Nope.
No.
It wasn't a plan.
I liked the way that we ended up splitting this book into the parts that we did without knowing the content of the book. It was just splitting them up by sections, and it worked out wonderfully.
Yeah, it was literally me going, hey, this is 300 pages. Let's just do 100 pages. Let's just figure out where that line's at the chapter end. And it was perfect. This was a ride.
This was quite a ride. But so they go to the clubhouse and Biden decides to go in and is shocked and upset when Obama doesn't just follow him in through the back door of a clubhouse with murderous bikers.
Yeah, he tells him, he doesn't like, stay outside, I'm going to take this one. Or whatever.
No.
Yeah.
No. He thought they were both going in, but it turned out just to be Joe Biden.
Really? I thought, oh my gosh.
No, I swore he said like something like, I got this. And Obama was like, okay.
Was that the one later? Because there was some situation that he also like vented to Barack. He was mad that he didn't go in. And he was like,
yeah,
no, you told me to wait back here.
That was to meet up. That was to meet up. That was the ice cream scene. Oh, no, this one, Joe was like, we got to go in. And Obama's like, no, we need a plan.
No, we need to wait.
Plan.
Back door.
And Joe's like, we're going through the back door. We're just going. I'm done waiting. And then he like goes and Obama's like, no, wait.
He slips on his Ray-Bans. I remember that. That was the line that stuck out. I slipped on the Ray-Bans. Next paragraph. Just okay.
I know this is outside the story of the book, but in the book they use the Ray-Bans a whole lot, and in SNL, watching Stephen Colbert, when people do parodies of Joe Biden, it's always with the sunglasses. Is this a trait that you guys were like, yeah, that's a big Joe Biden thing before, like this year? Because I did not look at this as a big Joe Biden thing.
No. I don't know where the Ray-Ban thing came from. I don't know where half memes and stuff like that comes from.
Also valid.
Reddit.
Although, can we all appreciate Bernie's mittens? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that one's good. That one's all over the place. I do know where that one came from.
But in any case, I personally liked his description of the fact that it is not like the movies when you walk in and it goes silent. He's like, no. The music keeps playing. Yeah. But everybody is now staring at you with guns raised.
I was surprised the author didn't make more of a thing about the music that he chose to have play in the background. Because it was like, no one to hold him, no one to fold him, no one to walk away, no one to run. And it's like, I feel like Biden would be more self-aware about this. Like, maybe I should have folded and walked away.
Yep. But so... Nobody recognizes who Biden is, even though it's his home state, and he's very offended, but also trying to stay calm. And then Obama waltzes in, and everybody's like, oh,
it's Obama with a sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah.
Just with a sawed-off shotgun that he collected from somebody else. And then Obama talks them into giving up their person. And, well, for one, Joe Biden gets told off, hey, you're the guy who almost backed into me. He's like, I did not. You were following us. He's like, no, you literally, like, almost backed up and almost hit me.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I mean, I didn't really look.
Which is what precipitated the whole chase thing that happened in the previous section, and then now led to them coming here, besides the tattoo on the one priest guy's arm.
Yes. So then they try to figure out who it is that was the priest in Darlene Donnelly's room. And Joe's like, well, he had a tattoo on his forearm. It's like everybody in this room has a tattoo on their forearm except the two of you. Like, you're it. But they finally figure out it's a T-Swizzle.
Yeah.
T-Swizzle.
You know he is not high level in the gang. Like, if your nickname is T-Swizzle, like, you are not being welcomed into the gang.
Based off of Taylor Swift.
So,
yeah.
I always thought it was weird that it was Taylor Swift's nickname, because a swizzle stick is a thing that you use for tea. So I was thrown off by this.
Yep.
But so somehow they get the biker gang to agree to let them kidnap T-Swizzle.
It wasn't it somehow. It was that it was Obama. That was
like,
somehow. It was some who.
And it was Obama, but it was Obama like slightly pretending that like SEAL Team 6 was going to drop in and was like waiting just outside. Like,
yeah.
One of the
clearly they're not the brightest bunch.
One of the best written chunks of dialogue in like the whole book, because they're like, "That's the man that killed. That's the man that killed Osama," and then Joe Biden's like, "Well, I mean, SEAL Team 6," and Obama just like covers him like, "Is waiting outside."
Yeah, Biden, and Obama's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Stop!" So they get T-Swizzle back to Joe Biden's storage unit, and they begin to question him. And they first have to like ground rules for the questioning, and the one ground rule is no torture. That's the ground rule. No torture. Which the length of the conversation necessary to determine no torture is really, really a bit much. It's a bit much.
Oh, it was talked about quite a while during politics. The whole Gitmo thing.
I mean, that's fair, but it's not like either
no torture. We don't do that. Oh,
advanced interrogation methods.
There we go. That's what it is. They didn't even really get anything out of him either.
Except for the pocket watch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. He did have the pocket watch. Engraved.
But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, because T-Swizzle's like, well, I was just there because I was buying drugs. Biden's like, yeah, BS. You've got no track marks. Like,
yeah.
No way. And then he again uses his...
Part?
I think it was Obama.
Well, Obama pulled the sleeves up.
Yeah. And they were like...
But Joe's the one who asked to see the forearms.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, in any case, they end up getting distracted because Biden gets a phone call. It says, if you want justice, meet me at the ice cream parlor in an hour down on the Riverwalk. Which is just like, really?
Okay.
Okay. Sure thing. So they go and they get dressed in new disguises.
Yeah, Obama's in a tap-out shirt was my favorite part.
And they go down to the Riverwalk. And that's where Biden says to Obama, no, stay in the car. Like, he told me to come alone. Which he then gets mad about later, that Obama didn't disregard that request and follow him. And it's like, what do you can't...
You're a grown adult. Like, you got it. Whatever. I'll just sit here. Listen to some jams.
So Biden goes up and orders ice cream. And his contact turns out to be Abby Todd. I forgot her name for a second.
The private investigator for the life insurance.
Abby Todd, PI.
Abby Todd, PI.
And you get her whole backstory.
You do.
She's like a little Nancy Drew. It's so adorable.
During that part, I was really like, do they just write other stories? And then if those don't become anything, they just use those as side characters in the other stories?
Yeah.
That was 100% my thought during that.
Yeah. Although I did definitely start to empathize with her in terms of I'm so young, nobody else like takes me seriously. And then also Biden's like, I'm too old for this. Like she's only like 24.
Yeah, she wasn't old enough to vote for him either time. And he was like, even in the 2012?
Just like, nope, missed it by 3 days.
It's like, oh my God, you are so young. But I could definitely, that exchange I could definitely empathize with, because I was like, yep, definitely been on both ends of that spectrum.
Yeah, no, I used to feel the first part a lot more. And then now it's more the second one, where as I'm doing a lot of things for my job, I see birth dates and I'm like, what? How was this person for college? No, yeah.
It's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or like, the fact that for all high schoolers, 9/11 is now a historical event.
Yep.
They weren't alive.
Yeah. That's insane. But also,
I'm like,
it's great. We got to that point and people still talk about it just like everybody said.
yep. Well, it's just like our parents' generation with John F. Kennedy, or with, the attack on Pearl Harbor before that, or, what have you. But in any case, she gives Biden some really bad news. Basically, that Finn was running drugs, or at least the DEA was looking into him for trafficking in drugs.
Yeah.
And Biden takes this really hard. Like, everybody's kind of been telling him that's probably the case.
Yep.
But he takes it so bad. Like, just awful. And so he gets back to the car with Obama and basically, like, blows up his friendship. Like, we're not friends anymore. I don't want to talk to you. It was very
dramatic.
Very like preteen girl. Like,
nah, I'm angry about something else, so I'm going to take it out on you, and I don't want to see your face anymore.
Yeah.
Don't ever talk to me again. We aren't friends.
Done. No more.
From there, Biden drops Obama off. And he goes back. He starts to go back home, and then he's like, oh, shoot. We left T-Swizzle in the storage unit. We should probably deal with him. So he calls his buddy Dan and turns over T-Swizzle to Dan's custody. Like, hey, here's the handcuffs. I have a gift for you. Dan's like,
okay.
A gift? What the Like, really? Yeah, I've got one of the Marauders handcuffed in my storage unit.
What was the other word for the Marauders? Like the other part of their name? It was like a 2-word name.
Oh.
It's like Hell's Marauders or something like that. Like,
yeah.
When they said it, I was like, that's Marauders was short for? Okay.
Did they have to shorten it? No.
Yeah. But, and I did love at first that Dan was like, you have one of their bikes in there? No. I've got one of them. I kidnapped a person. Like, let me just admit to kidnapping and false imprisonment. Like,
it'll be fine.
It's fine. So Biden passes out, and then he wakes back up. Well, we get this weird dream chapter with Obama riding a white unicorn.
Yeah.
Some sort of fever dream.
It was named after the SUV. I like
that
detail.
Yeah.
Little Beast. Yeah.
Little Beast. Yeah. Anyway.
But by that rule, he named the unicorn that he was riding on in Joe Biden's dream after his wife's SUV.
Yes. After Michelle's SUV.
I love it.
But so in any case, Biden goes to sleep. He wakes up. Jill is nowhere to be found. She's gone out for boozy brunch, which I fully appreciate.
It's bottomless mimosas, so be back
I love the sprinkling of First Lady Dr. Jill Biden in this book. It's just this night, like every time she like pops up, it's like, yes, that's how I want to live my life. Well, I want to be you.
In anything that happens where it's like, well, she wouldn't go and talk to Joe about like, I left you frozen peas for your injuries, but also I gotta go leave. Like, I feel like there's got to be a First Lady crime-solving novel also in here. And that's why we don't see either of them.
Her and Michelle are just cleaning you, but like they're closing like 20 cases for every one that Obama and Biden close.
They're running bets on when Biden figures out what they already know. Like it's just they're gonna find out. Let's see, we figured this out in like one day.
They're actually great friends with Esposito.
That's who she's drinking bottomless mimosas with. They're just sitting there, just waiting.
Jill's like, I had Esposito in class. I was one of her professors in college. Like, do you not remember her showing up to dinner at our house multiple occasions? But in any case, he finally decides to open the fan mail sitting on the kitchen table because he can't bear to get up and move to go find something else to read. And the letter he happens to open happens to be the like confession letter from Finn Donnelly.
Confessions.
Yeah.
And Biden's like, oh, that's what the map's for. He needed my address to send me a letter.
Which was like, it was an interesting leap to take.
Yeah. But in any case, it basically tells Biden that he got roped into trafficking drugs because he needed to pay for Darlene's care, but that he knew that there was, or at least he'd been told by the Marauders that they had protection from the police. So he couldn't go to the police, but he had felt so guilty about it that he actually hid the last duffel in the Lost and Found in Baltimore.
Yep.
And Biden's the only one that knows about it. So Biden decides to go rushing off to Baltimore because he can't tell any of the cops. And why on earth he can't go tell the Secret Service or the DEA?
Yeah, just tell the DEA, bro.
Like, we'll never know. But he's like, no. I must see this through by myself. So he goes down to Baltimore. And he's sneaking around Lost and Found trying to get this lost black duffel that's got no other markers on it from Lost and Found. And he finally gets it. Gets into the bathroom stall and it's gym clothes. But then it's also there's a can of Monster energy drink. And this is important because apparently the thing Biden and Finn became close on was the fact that neither of them drink alcohol or caffeine.
Yeah, so they're following the word of wisdom.
As we all sit here every week drinking alcohol and all of us consume copious
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, the second part of the caffeine, absolutely. The first part, I would never.
That is true. I thought Joe Biden did drink coffee, though. I thought I read it when I was looking up stuff for what to drink, and I thought it said Joe drank coffee and Obama drinks tea. Like, okay, cool.
I don't know.
But like some people don't consider drinking coffee drinking caffeine, though. But they consider energy drinks drinking caffeine. So,
I mean, to be fair, if someone gave me the option between the two, if it was just like, which one do you need to have, like go-go juice right now? Like, I'm going for the energy drink. If I want staying power with caffeine, it's just coffee. There's a different quality of caffeine. Listen, if you want to get Stephen Clark's caffeine podcast, you subscribe to patreon.com/Geek Elite Media.
Leave us a note. Anyway, so the energy drink is the clue, and he opens the energy drink like a pop top. And there's, even though it's supposed to be carbonated, which I don't know, somebody who doesn't drink energy drinks and is of a certain age, how they know that energy drinks are supposed to be carbonated, but that's fine.
I think there would still be like a pop if it's still a pressurized drink. Like even if it's like a Thai tea or anything like that, it still has that kind of crack to it.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's not like a fizzy bubbly thing. It's just
pressurized.
Yeah.
But like to that point though, like that is the logic that they cite in the book.
Correct. In any case, makes no noise, and he opens it to find
little baggies.
Little baggies of what we later learned to be fentanyl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So Biden panics and he jumps back on the fastest train back to Wilmington because, again, he can't contact the Baltimore PD, apparently. No. He can't contact DEA. He can't contact Secret Service.
None of these people.
Like, must do it all on his own.
He must do it all on his own. Well, so he's sitting on the train, minding his own business, sweating bullets because he's so nervous that somebody's going to discover that he's got drugs on him.
I mean, that's the appropriate reaction. So call the DEA, Joe.
And then a mystery man appears.
Mystery man.
And he's a mystery man for all of like a paragraph and a half. But yeah, mystery man appears, flashes his gun, makes Joe lift up his shirt, and we find out it's Dan Caparati.
Surprise.
And
surprise.
He's totally like, he's okay with the fact that the person started the conversation and everything with him with the gun and showed him the gun. Like, that would color the entire rest of that interaction.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it was meant to be more like Joe saw the gun instead of it was flashed at him. But the way it's written is it makes it seems like it was flashed at him.
Yeah, because he like lifts his shirt to show him that he has, or that he lifts his shirt and he sees the gun. But that could have been misconstrued by Joe in his innocence. As like, oh, no, like he's showing me how to lift my shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in any case, Donnelly starts asking him about the letter and about the drugs. And he convinces Biden to hand him the letter.
Mistake
number 1. Well, actually, more like mistake number 100. But
Joe keeps making them.
is a little rough in this, particularly in this section of the book. But so then Dan tries to convince Biden that like, look, it'll be really bad if we like go forward with bringing this up. Like it could all just disappear.
Yeah.
And Biden's like, yeah, no, I'm not comfortable with that. Like, let's go down. Like, I know it's going to blow up, but like the truth is worth it. And then Dan kind of like looks at him and Biden's like, you know what? I have to pee. I have to go to the bathroom. Bye. And so he gets up and he heads to the restroom.
They had the conversation about what the drugs were in, and then the guy spills the thing about the energy drink, and then Joe's like, I didn't tell him about the energy drink.
Wait a minute. I didn't tell him. Now. Yeah. How does he? I got it. I got to go use the Joe Tingle.
I have to take a Joe Tingle.
So he goes to the bathroom and he tries to call Esposito and he tries to call Obama. And I love the fact that we learn later that he did not bother to leave voicemails to either of these people.
Yeah, it sounds
who has
more like
the time?
No, he's a millennial at heart. He's like, voicemails?
No, he's gonna check those.
It's probably full anyway. They're always full.
Neither one answers. So he hangs up and he's like, well, who do I call? Oh, I'll call the Wilmington Amtrak station and get the manager, Gary, to stop the train. Like, or to clue him in, because I don't want to clue the conductor in, because I don't want to turn this situation bad, and I don't want like Dan to shoot anybody. Which is like the first, like, okay, now you're doing some two-step thinking. This is good. Crisis mode has kicked in. You're now like thinking all the way through these lines of thoughts. Proud of you. The attorney in me is like, good job. But in any case, he goes to call and his phone's dead. And he's like, oh, right, I didn't charge it last night.
Charge your phones, everybody. Drink water, straighten up in your chair at home, and charge your phone.
Charge your phones.
Charge your phones. So he starts going back to his seat, and Dan's not there, and the duffel's gone.
Or was the whole, or just the can?
Just the can was gone.
Just the can.
Yeah.
That's right. Just the can was gone. So Joe then starts trying to find Dan.
Mm-hmm.
And again, why he doesn't bother to tell any of the conductors or anybody else on board, we will never know. But he starts going through the cars, and he gets between the last two. And he gets blindsided and gets pinned up against the wall, and it's Texas, one of the Marauders. And he's got Biden pinned up against the wall, and Dan does the whole supervillain thing and kind of like just spills all the beans, puts all the pieces together, yada, yada, yada. And Biden's like, okay, I just have to make it to the station.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to make it to the station. Because if he tosses me out here, like, I'm totally dead.
Which is apparently not true, but we'll talk about that later.
Well, at that point, at the speed they were going.
Yeah, it's true. They were
yeah.
going faster.
Yeah, the train was slowing down later on.
To about a third of the speed it had been at when Joe made that statement the first time. But in any case, Biden realizes he's running out of time and takes that point to headbutt Texas.
When in doubt, headbutt it out.
I don't think we should be advising people that, Jessica.
No. Headbutt. If someone's got you pinned, get out of it. Who cares how?
That's the problem.
Well, no, I'm just thinking more in general, the blanket statement of like when in doubt of doing anything, just headbutt your way out of the situation. Like,
okay,
yes,
no,
if somebody's got
if
you
you're
pinned,
stuck and pinned, don't think of the logical, I'm going to punch him. Do whatever. Headbutt to the nose. It's like,
but just the like,
just all the things. Bite the ear. Everything. Just do everything. Get out of it.
Everything counts. So at that point, Dan Caparetti throws Biden out of the train, and Biden grabs onto the side of the train,
and it's flapping like a little flag.
And I'm like, I totally didn't bite any of this portion. Like, I'm like, this is so baloney.
Like, if someone throws me out, like I am a much younger person than Joe Biden, and like if someone threw me out, that's it, guys.
Yeah, no, like that's just not a thing. Anyway, so in this fiction, Biden holds on, and he's slowly releasing each finger is falling off. And as it's falling off, he's down to his last two fingers, and he's holding on for dear life. And Texas reaches out and grabs him and pulls him in.
Like he had a moment where he thought he was gonna like "Long live the king" him. He really thought that for a second.
Oh god.
Yep. But turns out Texas is a undercover DEA agent with the Marauders.
Yay!
And they had put the Marauders in as a sting. And it turns out that what had happened was Finn Donnelly had been recruited. He had been trafficking the stuff. And then when he left the duffel in Baltimore and wrote that letter to Joe, the Marauders figured it out, Dan figured it out. So they went to his hotel room to rough him up and ended up killing him.
And they said it really graphically in this.
They did. I was not going to get into those details. Also, we don't have that kind of time. Yeah. So Dan cooks up the idea that they will put him on the tracks, put some heroin in his pockets, and it'll just get written off as a drug-related death or an accident. And Alvin did kill himself, but Dan was there when Joe found the body. Yada, yada, yada. So after Texas pulls Biden in, and they kind of get this brief rundown, Dan comes to, because Texas had knocked him out, and pushes Texas out of the train. But the train had been slowing very rapidly.
Because for some reason,
Biden doesn't know what's going on. Maybe because the doors opened. Maybe he doesn't know. So at that point, it was only going 30 miles an hour instead of 100 miles an hour. But he's pretty sure Texas is probably dead.
Yeah, I think they said that he hit rocks.
Yeah. So in any case, Biden is now standing between Dan and his exit. And he's like, I got this wall of buttons. If I hit the right one, I can lock him in here with me. So that sounds like a good idea. But if I hit the wrong one, I open the door behind him and then he can just leave.
Now, what do the people at home think happens when Joe pushes a button?
Now that you've been yelling at your car screen, yes, you are correct. He pushes the wrong button and opens the door behind Dan.
Absolutely.
And so Dan goes to jump out right into another train, going the opposite direction.
Yeah, he like hops out and he's giving him like a salute to Joe, like in this like final bad guy moment, and then just bap.
Bye.
Yeah.
Gone.
The train stops just before the Wilmington station, and who should appear but Obama and Steve, because Steve somehow managed to make it out of the hospital in under 48 hours after, gushing a bunch of blood and probably severe internal organ damage, but that's fine. And it turns out it is not because Obama got Joe's message, since Joe didn't bother to leave a voicemail, but it was because Steve had started calling the DEA, figured out what happened, and with the voicemail, they pinged Joe's phone, which I'm like, if his phone was dead...
They could have done it earlier on.
Yeah.
Because I had the same thought for this one.
Yeah.
You can ping it to the last time it had charged. Especially with the kind of pinging they were doing, the super secret government kind of pinging. Yeah, as long as it can find your previous charges. It's why everything tracks you, basically.
And in Joe's case, it tracked him.
But in any case, just as they're about to celebrate, and they've notified the helicopter to go back down and find Texas, Dan's mangled body comes stumbling up and out of the train, and he pulls a gun, and Steve shoots him, but not after he shoots Joe.
Well,
Joe in his Medal of Freedom.
It's a gun, and he dives on Obama.
Yeah, he saves.
I got you. And it's very much a wow. You're so lucky. Am I? Boom! Broken Medal of Freedom.
That was my favorite part. Like
that's the best part.
I laughed. Like I was working with my window open here, and anyone who happened to walk by would have heard me just go, ha!
But in any case, Joe has a very touching moment with Esposito, who refuses to say sorry or thank you, but Joe understands, and it's fine. They give their statements, and luckily we get our epilogue 3 months later. Nobody brings Joe or Obama or the Secret Service up in anything. DEA is able to shut the Marauders down, And Obama comes to the Bidens for dinner.
Yay.
Yay. And Jill is mad at Joe, which he knows because she's doing the dishes.
Yeah, normally it's his job. She only does them when she's mad at him.
Yep. Which doesn't make any sense, but okay.
So I had this thought. She's like, he's like, so what did I do? And she's like, what? Sorry, can't hear you, Joe. Water's running.
Water. Yeah.
It's just like a hard stare.
No, I could see it. Water's running. Can't hear you. Or just like trying to like wash away your anger. I get it. It could be something that like calms her down or something.
I guess maybe the problem is that I hate doing the dishes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how would that be a punishment to you if I have to do the dishes? Like, that's a punishment to me. But in any case, he and Obama make up, and then he has Obama change the light bulb in the hall bathroom. And Obama has to ask why Bradley Cooper is up. The picture of Bradley Cooper's up on Biden's dartboard.
And it's like one of the last scenes. He's like, it doesn't matter. Not anymore. Because they're best friends again.
Not anymore.
And then the epilogue is Amtrak Joe riding the Amtrak to go play golf with Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
With his buddy Barry. And getting to take selfies with more conductors.
Yeah. So, at this point, do either of you think that you'll go and pick up the second book in the series?
Honestly, if I need,
maybe. Up to again.
Yeah, if I need a very light, if I needed a really light read and something I knew was going to be funny, like, yeah, I probably would. Like, I'm not going to immediately go out and get it, but like, I'll definitely think, oh, I could use a presidential mystery right now in my life.
And I definitely feel like this is a book that I would like gift somebody.
Yeah.
Like, if that makes sense.
I can see
because like a lot of times, like there are books that I'm like, I really love this book, but I'm not going to gift it to anybody because you have to really be of a certain mindset in a certain place. Like you have to. This is one of those books that I'm like, no, I could literally just hand this to anybody.
I don't know what you're talking
and everybody
about.
Would find something.
I loved
like
it.
even
last time you gave me that illustrated copy of Grey's Anatomy. I loved it. It was great. I learned so much about the human body.
I mean, I have to build my apocalypse team, and I needed a doctor on staff, so it only seeed appropriate.
I already know CPR and basic first aid, so
we're going to compete for this one.
All I know is I'm the weapons expert. It's fine. So, final thoughts. How do you think it turned? Go ahead.
It was just fun. It was just such a fun read. I don't know. I think it's just such a great book to have on your shelf in general. It's just a real conversation starter as well. And it actually was a fun read. Like the writing actually was pretty good. It was cheesy, yes, but it was good writing still. So, and I like even I think I read the, I never read the acknowledgements. And the only reason why I actually read it was because I caught that the first sentence said they say nobody reads the acknowledgements page, but you're not nobody. So I read the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not nobody.
And it was adorable. It actually was a really cute acknowledgement. And I'm like, yeah, I should probably read more of those. It's adorable. But
yes. Yes. No, Stephen, what about you?
No, so I did not enjoy this book in a massive way when we first started it, mostly because of the audiobook for this one.
Yeah. I don't think I could do that.
Was that later on, and that's the whole reason I was doing the terrible old man voice earlier. Like, it's not because that's what I think Joe Biden sounds like. That's what the audiobook reader thinks he sounds like. But no, as I was listening to it more and more, obviously for this podcast, like I picked up another book that came out last week. And you'd think in my downtime I would go to that book to listen to something. No, I wanted to listen to this one more than the other book that I picked up. So
Wow.
Whatever that says about it, there you have it.
There you go. Yeah, no, I have thoroughly enjoyed this book. I was very thankful when I truly appreciated my cousin gifted this to me for Christmas a couple years ago, which is how I ended up reading it the first time through. So Jessica, thank you so much for giving me a reason to read it a second time. Because it's so funny.
Yeah,
it's so lighthearted and funny. It's so ridiculous, but it's so lighthearted and funny. Anyway. So with that, dear listeners, when you rejoin us, I guess we're going to take a week off, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the time for people to pick up the book.
So we're going to take a week off, and we will be squarely in Black History Month when we rejoin you.
Mm-hmm.
So in honor of Black History Month, although we don't need a reason to read this next book because I'm actually really excited for it.
Yeah.
We are going to be reading The Water Dancer by, and Stephen's going to end up helping with this, Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah.
Am I close?
Yep.
Okay.
No, that was good.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, who, thank you, Stephen, apparently was writing the comic books for Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Is what she said.
Yeah.
And this is... Go ahead.
Now they're very much like an author who is like very much like come into their own. Like it's an award-winning book and everything. And it is also a textured cover, which always gets my attention.
Mm-hmm. So...
Yay.
I got ahead of it.
It's his debut novel. And it takes place... So the premise of the book is... that our main character was born into slavery during the antebellum South. And he ends up with a ability. For one, he's got a photographic memory. And for two, he can in fact basically, my understanding is shrink the distance between bodies of water, or utilizing bodies of water, so he can help people get long distances in very short amount of time using this power. So I'm very much looking forward to reading this book. And I'm also very much, I think we all are looking forward to, we will have a special guest with us next book.
Who could it be?
Oh,
the lovely Naima Deport. Deport?
Yep, Deport.
Am I saying that right?
The person that should have been on this podcast from the very beginning.
Yeah.
She really should have. But she was not into recording with us at the very beginning, I feel like. So we've now talked her into recording. So we will be having her on as a guest and then possibly talking her into staying. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
We'll see how persuasive we are and how persuasive you are, dear listeners. So come back and join us in a week's time. Please go pick up The Water Dancer and we'll see you back. Jessica, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter as JM Bailey Writes.
And Stephen, where can people find you to debate the benefits of energy drinks versus coffee?
You can find me on Twitter as Peppermint Gent, which is short for Peppermint Gentleman, which you can find me as on all other social media.
And you can find me with the rest of Geek Elite Media at Geek Elite Media and our Facebook page /Geek Elite Media. Archived episodes of this podcast and other podcasts can be found on our website, geekelitemedia.com. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcatcher so that other people can catch us. And until next time, this is The Love of Pages, reminding you to always keep turning those pages and always remember to
Geek out.
Geek out.
I waited longer and I was still early? Wow.